Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, honors to all the brothers who are fervently pushing the word in sincerity and in faith, and Shalom to all the sincere believers. Now, this lesson is going to be, just based on all of these storms and tempests that have been taking place, and how these storms are the work of the Lord. So through the Spirit, I'm going to get a couple of precepts, and Lord's will, you're edified. Isaiah 29:6, Thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh of hosts with thunder, and with earthquake, and great noise, with storm, and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. And when you look up the definition of tempest, it's a violent, windy storm, such as a hurricane or a tornado. And in certain parts of America, there have been a lot of tornadoes spawning. There's been a lot of hailstorms, a lot of rain storms, a lot of lightning storms. And there's been a lot of destruction caused as a result. There's been fires that have happened as a result of lightning strikes. There's been a lot of flooding because of the rain. There's been a lot of destruction because of tornadoes. There's been some destruction because of hail. Trees have fallen onto people's homes, onto people's cars. Power lines have gotten snapped, leading to power outages. And these are the storms and tempests of the Lord. Because it says, Thou shalt be visited of the Lord. So the Lord is visiting, these different countries and these different cities with his storms and tempests. Isaiah 28:2, Behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which has a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing shall cast down to the earth with the hand. And we see that a lot. Where when the Lord sends these storms, neighborhoods get flooded, roads get flooded, highways get flooded, airport runways get flooded. Over here where I'm at, it's been raining a lot lately, and sometimes they have to shut down the highway because the highway got flooded. And it just causes a lot of chaos, because then people got to find out alternative routes, and it just creates a bunch of traffic. When the Lord sends these wind storms, the roof of homes can get torn off. Like I said, trees are falling all over the place. Power lines are getting snapped. When the Lord sends the hail, cars get damaged, people's homes get damaged, and if the size of the hail is big enough, somebody can get killed. Like, these storms and tempests are no joke, and they're only getting more severe, and they're happening more frequently. A lot of people have died because they were on the road and the road was flooded, and they tried to drive through those flood waters because they didn't know how deep it was, and then they got stuck and they couldn't get out, and nobody could get to them to help get them out. That's why in Hebrews 10:31 it says it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, because the Heavenly Father determines how your story is going to play out. In Deuteronomy 32:39, it says, "See now that I, even I am He, and there is no power with me. I kill and I make alive, I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand." So the Lord will put you in a situation and nobody will be able to get you out of it. There have been plenty of fires that have happened, and the police and the firefighters were on scene, and people were trapped in the house or in the car or whatever, and the firefighters and the police are trying to get them out, but the Lord just, would make the flame so intense that they had to back off, and then the person ends up dying, or the people end up dying. The Lord ain't playing around, and there's a lot of people who have angered the Lord, and they're about to get caught up in these judgments, and nobody's going to be able to save them. Psalms 11:6, "Upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, and an horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup." And when the Lord unleashes these tornadoes that will rip through a town and just destroy multiple homes, or the Lord will send a hurricane, with powerful winds and all of that water. We've seen the destruction that these hurricanes can cause. And the fact that we're living in the last days, which means that these hurricanes and these tornadoes, they're going to be a lot more severe, a lot deadlier, a lot more, intense. And majority of people out here don't even know it. They don't know. They'll be like, "Oh, that's just Mother Nature." No, this is the judgment of the Heavenly Father. Psalms 83:14, "As the fire burneth a wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire." Verse 15, "So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm." And the Heavenly Father has been doing just that, dishing out all of these different storms and tempests upon these different countries and different cities, and bringing judgments upon these people. Wounding people, killing people, destroying people's cars, destroying people's homes. Different businesses getting destroyed as a result of these storms and tempests and flooding and all of that. Like, this is not a joke. The Heavenly Father is not playing around. Psalms 9:16, "The Lord Yahweh is known by the judgment which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Hegeon Selah." And that's right. And like I said, this is not Mother Nature. It's not global warming. It's not climate change. This is the judgment of the Lord. He's the one bringing all these storms and tempests upon the earth, causing all this death and destruction. Luke 21:22, "For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled." And these storms and tempests, these destructive, deadly, intense storms and tempests, are part of the Lord's vengeance. Just like the fires, just like the earthquakes, just like the shootings and stabbings and animal attacks and car crashes and plane crashes and helicopter crashes and the power outages and the volcano eruptions. These are all the judgments and the vengeance of the Heavenly Father. And you have the men of the Lord, starting, of course, with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, that are constantly warning people that all of these events are just going to get worse. They're going to happen a lot more frequently, but most people don't listen. People want to say, "Oh, you're crazy. Oh, you're just fear-mongering. You don't know what you're talking about." Like, it's written in the scriptures. But those people that don't want to take it seriously are people that the Lord is not dealing with. Those are the wicked people that he's angry with. who he's going to destroy in due time. It's all fun and games, and people want to live in ignorance until that judgment comes upon them. Then they want to get serious. Then they want to be all serious about it, but it's too late at that point. A lot of people are about to be put in the spirit world. And there's nothing anybody can do to stop it. Luke 21:36. Watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. And that's what those of us of the hopeful elect are doing. We're watching. We're seeing what's going on in the world. And we're praying and hoping that the Lord has slated us to be the ones who endure unto the end and be saved. Because it's about to get horrific out here. The fires, the earthquakes, the power outages, the storms and tempests, the famines, the diseases, the wars. It's about to get apocalyptic out here, and most people, they think that all these apocalyptic TV shows and movies are just a joke. It's just for entertainment. They don't understand that those events are really going to take place, and it's going to take place on a bigger scale and on a scarier scale than what they show in these movies and TV shows. And these people out here are in every which way unprepared for that. They're not physically prepared, they're not mentally prepared, they're not emotionally prepared, they're not spiritually prepared, they're just not prepared at all. And that's why it's going to be so just simple for them to just get taken out of here. Because they're not even paying attention. It's easy to take somebody out when they don't even know it's coming. Caught off guard like a thief in the night. Proverbs 22:3. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. And those of us of the hopeful elect, through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, we are the prudent. You look up the definition of prudent and it means wise. Those of us of the hopeful elect, we're the ones watching. We're the ones being circumspect. We're the ones, seeing what's on the news, trying to stay as up to date with what's going on as we possibly can. And then filtering everything through the scriptures. But these simple people, they're just like, oh yeah, they're gonna go to work, probably go, hang out at the gym or go to the bar or hang out with their friends, play some video games, do some drugs, just they have no idea what's going on. All these people that want to go on vacation, it's like there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like pay attention to what's going on. Because you could leave the country to go to a different country, and then that country can get hit with a hurricane or something, and then you're dead. You didn't even know that it was going to happen because you weren't being circumspect. People have this whole I want to do it, so I'm going to do it spirit on them. They want to go somewhere, they're going to go. They want to do something, they're going to do it. And they don't even consider the ways that can go wrong. Like I said, that's why it's so easy to take these people out, because they're so lost. And then you try to help them, you try to put them on and let them know what's happening, and they don't want to hear it. Because people there's a lot of people that I know who don't watch the news because they're like, oh, it's nothing good on. There's always something negative, always something bad happening. And it's like, yeah, because we're in the last days. All of these bad things that are happening are the judgments of the Lord. But at the end of the day, everybody has to reap what they've sown. And all of these ignorant, simple, carnal people, they're about to reap it, what they've sown. For being wicked, for provoking the Lord unto wrath, these people are about to receive that judgment. And some of that judgment is going to be in the form of these powerful, destructive, and deadly storms and tempests. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. In closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash, the Wadi Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are firmly pushing the word in sincerity and in faith, and shalom to all the sincere believers. Hope you stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up, and Adawan Ratazah. Till next time, shalom.